Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chair Yoga and Meditation today. We are starting a new learning process here. I just thought it would be a good time to revisit some of the basics of what yoga is all about, where it came from. And we're going to do that with a study of the 8 limbs of yoga. I'll provide a little commentary, I guess, through my weekly email. That's where the primary content will be. So if you're interested, if you happen to be viewing this on YouTube, and if you're interested in receiving that, add that to your comments that you would like to be added, and give me your email address, and I'd be happy to send that to you. So those of you who have been with me a while will be reminded of this book that I've referred to forever. This is a Morning Cup of Yoga by Goad Trechsel. Skinny little book, super helpful in terms of its condensing a huge body of work into something very manageable and very realistic in terms of just trying to understand, like I said, where yoga came from. So I'm going to read from it. It's perfect, this little introduction. So it was a good way to start. So I'm going to read while you do your transitional setup. So you're going to be coming into the forward part of your chair, getting the block between your legs, changing your state of mind, quieting, not visiting with anybody, bringing yourself into the space that you occupy with more intention. And of course, finding your way into your body by way of your breath. So you start to notice that you are breathing. Remember to use good posture too. So when you're coming in to your transitional place, come into a place where you're sitting up tall and you feel like, oh yeah, this is good posture. Here's where she began. Very clever of her. She sticks with her theme, that her idea was that she does yoga every morning instead of drinking a cup of coffee. So she has a morning cup of yoga instead. So today we're taking a sip of sutras. Sutras, just so you know, side note, I didn't put it in my email and I thought better of it later, translates as sacred text. Sutras is sacred text. So we would know that in our language as scripture. So that'll give you a connecting point. The physical part of yoga is important, but what good is a strong, resilient body if your heart is closed and your mind is imprisoned by your ego and its demands? What good is an attractive appearance if you are deceitful or unkind? What good is physical health if you are miserable because you have what you don't want and don't have what you do want? What good is energy and vitality if it is used to cause harm? We live within myriad confusing choices and contradictions. In the midst of our indecision and confusion, these guidelines are helping hands moving us deeper into our own authenticity. We are able to live with more skill and awareness. At their deepest level, the physical practices of yoga exist within a spiritual framework whose ultimate goal is the union, which is what yoga means, of the individual soul with the divine, a melting of the individual personality into pure consciousness. The physical postures are seen as a preparation for spiritual liberation. So that's kind of where we're headed with our study. And as we transition, I'm going to join you in the chair so we can begin some movement and some breath awareness. Make sure you feel balanced right to left, front to back. So your pelvis is well situated. You can feel your body weight distributed there in the pelvic bowl. Feet to the floor. Take a look to see if your feet are straight. You want your feet to be parallel to one another, straight, not one in front of the other, lined up. Eyes are closed, so we can really come into this inner awareness, the inner view, rather than the external. And let's use the box breath. Let's use the simple but reliable box breath to connect in a meaningful way. That's the one typically a count of 4. Inhale, that counts a 4. Pause for a count of 4. Exhale, 4. Another pause, 4. So you can see how that traces a box shape. So I want you to try that, inhaling and counting it out, literally using the numbers within you. If 4 is not compatible to the way you breathe, find the number. Maybe it's 3 for you, and just find that consistency of breath. And you're including the pause between the inhale and the exhale, between the exhale and the inhale. So we've got pauses worked into this. Relax your face, sit up tall. Don't let this be work. It's not hard. Just find that rhythm of breath, and you can start to feel your way into that pause, being just as natural can be. And let yourself relax into that. This is a very reliable tool to calm the nervous system and make some real changes in your body right now. Hold yourself up. Use good posture. Beautiful. Keep your eyes closed if you're still comfortable with that. Flip your hands so your palms are facing up and you've just rested the back of your hands into your lap using the mudra of receptivity. Open to receive. Maybe today, we're open to receive a broader view of yoga. It's not just this thing you do so you're moving. It's like taking your steps. That's the language of today. People that are wearing a watch that helps them take, keep count of their steps. This isn't that. This is quite different. So bring yourself into that open to receive. And what might that be? In all ways that could benefit you. And so it is. Let's open the eyes, flutter your eyes, and get used to the light again. Good posture now. We're going to lift those arms all the way up. Palms will come together overhead. Look up if that feels okay. Exhale as you bow into your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, take that backstroke all the way down and around. Now, bear with me. I'm going to do something simple. I want you to just bring your hands in front of you. They're just out there. They're just like kind of limp. You just brought your hands out in front and they're just sort of limp. And then engage. I say, turn your hands on, do something, particular with your hands, something mindful with your hands, like stretch through the palms, spread your fingers apart. So all of a sudden you could feel a total engagement of your hands. Can you feel the difference in your arms and wrists and all of the area around your hands when you turned them on? Because that's going to be important. It's important with every practice, but I wanted to bring it to our particular attention. Now keep holding them like that. They're really stretched open. They're turned on. And then go limp again. Soften them up so it's just limp hands out there. And then again, turn them on. Engage. This time we're going to press palms together, press fingers together. So you press, press, press. And I want you to count 3 breaths. Pressing, you're doing 3 full breaths in and out. Press, press. And when we finish our breaths, start to release the pressure between your palms. Slowly, slowly, slowly start bringing space between your palms. Now just notice that. For me, it gives us almost a palpable or felt experience of space. The space between your hands feels like you could touch it, like it's something very real that exists between your palms. So yoga is an embodiment practice, as well as I have come to realize for myself in my personal practice, particularly my meditation practice, that I'm also more conscious of the space that supports me. All right, palms come together overhead. Inhale. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale up. And exhale, down and around, down and around. Arms are going to be right alongside the frame of the chair. Turn those hands on. Pull back. Arch the back body. Shoulder blades are drawing toward each other. So concentrate on that your shoulder blades are drawing towards center. Keep your head real neutral. Press your feet to the floor. Find that rhythm of breath and the arch of your back. This is an extension of the spine. We've got a name for it. It's our cow pose. Extend your spine. Now notice what your pelvis is doing. It's tilting. Can you give it a little more tilt? Tilt the pelvis. Great. Let's bring our hands to our knees. We're just breathing in and out. We'll get to the vinyasa in a minute. Now tuck the pelvis like crazy. Start like that. Start with the tucking of the pelvis and watch how your low back starts to find the roundness, and you can feel the roundness through the center part of your back. The shoulders will round. I say, don't even worry about that. Don't even try to, include it, because it'll happen. Your shoulders are round naturally. So really bring your awareness and your focus to the tuck, experience of tucking. And because we've got a block in between our legs, we got even more awareness, even better, because we can feel the engagement of the inner thighs, or better known as that pelvic floor, the perineum, as you engage the mula bandha. So that's our yoga practice. We know how to do that. We can engage that, and that's done on the exhalation. Perfect for these two cat and cow and cat poses that we do, because it just works perfect for the engagement of the mula bandha. All right, here we go with our vinyasa. Inhale up, exhale, and tuck, squeeze. So I want you to take your time so you're really benefiting from that perineum work that we're adding to this, just bringing our full awareness into it. So take your time. So it's a really long and mindful exhalation process. You can be breathing in and out of your nose. You can find that your mouth is doing some breathing. Don't sweat that. Breathe away. It just feels natural, and you're able to really use your breath. Two more now. Two more with each. Beautiful. As we come into a neutral position, let's let those arms reach up. Turn your hands on now. Get your arms as close to your head as you can. Lean into that imaginary wall behind us. So you get your head in line with the spine. Perfect. Inhale looks like that. Exhale is going to come into that heart opening, bent elbows. Inhale up. Exhale, open your heart. Now, you know your body, so I want you to just exaggerate this as much as possible. So maybe you lift your face up toward the ceiling, that you're able to really open that heart, and it feels very exaggerated for you, and that's all good. And remember to exhale completely. I say it all the time, don't I? That is good yoga. When we can remember to do that, that's good yoga. Inhale up. Exhale, just come into that goddess position. So it's not quite the W. We'll go from here. This is our open position to closing it up on the exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Squeeze your block a little bit. See if that doesn't give you a better sense that you are using core strength to stabilize even this movement here. Stable body allows you to move your shoulders around like this. Squeeze that block just a bit. Inhale's open. Exhale, closing. Last time, open and close. And let's bring our arms alongside the frame of the chair, and maybe some shoulder rolls, any kind of movement that helps you kind of reset the body. We're going to hold on to the chair, squeeze that block, and then see if you can lift your feet up off the floor. So we're going to just sort of let ourselves lean back a little bit. So there's a rocking action, squeezing the block. This is like doing some abdominal crunching, and it's kind of fun. So find your rhythm of breath. You want to give yourself an exhale. Don't bypass that. Like the exhalation is sort of overlooked. Let's try to hold it now. We're going to get our feet up off the floor and hold that. You can hold on to your chair, or you can not hold on to your chair. That takes a little more efforting. So you decide. You could even hold on to your legs. Create something here that just feels good. Awesome. Feet to the floor. Reset the body. Let's change. Put the block underneath the chair for now. Reset, reset. Take a wider step so you've got heels in, toes are out. Again, you can hold on to the chair. We're going to just drop one leg in towards center and come back. Let's just stay with the same leg for a bit, dropping it, and just let your foot roll. You can't keep the sole of your foot down. So you're just going to let your foot roll so it accommodates this movement of your thigh and your knee in towards center. Be sure you're all caught up with your breathing and you're holding yourself in good posture. Feels pretty good there. Let's switch now to the other leg. Just drops in. This one's different for me. I feel it differently. The other one felt easy. This one just feels like there's more effort. Pay attention now. Pay attention to the sensation, the roll of your foot. Let's alternate now. So we'll drop one knee and bring it up and alternate. And just notice a little twisting action, perhaps. I just kind of felt that, thought I'd speak up about it. Just notice what your body is doing to accommodate this movement. Your pace. So if you feel like I'm going too fast, you just slow it down. One more with each leg. And we'll come back where our feet are really grounded and our hands are on our thighs. Let's circle that around now. You feel like your chest cavity is drawing this big circle. Your head is just staying put. It's not looping around. It's just propped on top of your spine like it's supposed to, and your chest cavity is circling around for you. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waist. Try to go as far over. Sometimes I think my movement is more forward and there's a lot of move back, but the sides I'm not so sure about. Let's see if we can bring that into better awareness. And if you're like, that's just the opposite for me, just better awareness that you're tracing a big circle all around and you want to notice it. And it feels like you were trying. Change the direction. I kind of went a while there. You might have changed direction already. Let's get it going the other way. Moving around in your rib cage. Find your breathing now. Find it. And when we come back upright, let's touch our fingers to our shoulders and circle those little chicken wings, big, circles all around, drawing in and then down and around, drawing in. Those elbows almost touch. Push your feet to the floor, pull the belly in a bit so you feel like you're still using good posture. Now change the direction. So now those elbows spread apart. They come up and around. That's the movement. It's the opposite movement of the circular movement here. Up and around. Let's bring them up so it feels like you're touching your shoulder blades back there, and get your arms as close to your head as it feels like you can. Lift up, push your feet so it feels like your whole body is helping you out. Kind of creating more space in the armpits. You're aware of that, a little different awareness, right? And then we're just going to tip down to touch our same side, elbow to leg or knee. So you really got to tip down because you're going to keep your hands on their shoulder blades. So if we're going to bring our elbow to our leg, we're going to have to really fold ourselves down. Notice your breath. Let's try crisscrossing, and you might find that if you're going to touch the opposite elbow to the leg touch, that you have to bring your legs a little closer together. So I'm leaving that up to you. You'll just adjust. Notice your breath. One more touch with each side. Feels like you evened it out. When you spread your arms open, just hold them there. Palms are stretched open, fingers spread apart. Open and close now. Pull back, inhale, exhale, round through the back body as you bring fingertips together out front. Big open. Can you notice your pelvis? Tilt, tuck. Inhale, tilt and open. Exhale, tuck. Tuck the pelvis. Last time, open, big inhale. Exhale, close, roundness through the body. Come back to a neutral position. Let your arms just rest. Any movement your body needs is a good time. We're going to again hold on to the chair. You might find that now that you know how to do it, you don't need to hold on to the chair because we're going to just go back to what we did. We're dropping that knee in towards center. So you might have hands at the waist now. You're rolling your foot. Don't forget your foot is going to move. Don't glue that down because your knee is going to really suffer for that. And we'll switch to the other side now. Stabilize and start to move that. You can always hold the chair. That's always, always, always an option. But it's just, if it's an opportunity for you to challenge yourself, get a little more balance challenge or a little more core strength involved, I want you to take that. Alternate now. One more. Each knee dropping down. Last time, all the way up. Good job. Let's start walking ourselves over. So we're going to be facing the side and our legs are together. So, bring yourself into a very upright position and balance in your pelvis. Let's start with that. Just because we moved and we're now facing a different way, I want you to balance in your pelvis. And for starters, squeeze your legs together. Now, if squeezing your legs together doesn't really work in your body, it's just not doable, then use your block. Grab your block, put it between your legs, and so your legs are still squeezing in. They don't, if bringing them all the way together, that's just not happening. Let's just squeeze into the block, and then we can still capitalize on that engagement, that same engagement process. We're going to turn toward the chair's backrest. So you're going to turn toward the chair so you can let that chair support your twist. Balance your pelvis. So if you found yourself really leaning into one butt cheek, I want you to balance that out, make some correction in your twisting action. Now, so you don't have to see the screen. You don't have to watch me at all. You're just turning toward your backrest, squeezing your legs together or your legs into the block, feeling feet to the floor, and a full breath in, followed by a full breath out. A twist can be a work in progress. I'm going to say it should be a work in progress, that you're always looking for a little more. You're just stay alert to the sensation in your body in such a way that you're ready to deepen into the twist when the opportunity presents itself. Connect with your breath so you can feel that full inhalation and that full exhalation. And then begin to unwind your shoulders and your arms so you're just still facing the side. We're going to stay here for a few more movements. So I want you to extend your outside leg. Let's get a little terminology here because I'm not trusting right and left when we're in this position. So I'm going to refer to inside leg. That's the one that inside arm or leg. That's the one near your backrest. Outside leg and arm, the other one. So let's get that outside leg to go all the way out, heel down, toes are up, And as best we can, we've created a right angle between the legs. Keep your forward facing, so you're still facing that bent knee side, and drop your foot down and bring it back up. So it feels like you're kind of rolling around in your ankle a little bit, but actually that's going to take it all the way up into your hip joint, into that hip socket. Just letting the foot drop down and roll back up. So it's right, letting the heel be that fulcrum there. Let's meet now with the toes up, kneecap up. So your toes are up. You're not trying to get your foot to the floor here. Toes are up. And we're going to let that inside arm lift up. The outside arm is on the leg or holding the chair or whatever you need to be doing. Here's the thing though, avoid your knee at all costs. There's no contact with your knee. You're not going to slide back down it and think, well, that's not so bad. No contact with the knee. If you can reach your shin, that's awesome. Thigh, chair, no knee. Okay. So we're lifting up with that outside arm right alongside the ear. Try some folds, some side bends, I guess would be a better way to describe this. So some side bends. I love hands on the leg. That's why I was so fussy about how you might utilize that. You just have to really be careful that you put no pressure on that knee joint. So either take the side bend and hold it, or do some in and out or pulsation kind of movements. You decide. Check in with your breathing. That might help you decide. Side bends. Excellent. Let's come back up. Arm up in the air, legs straight. Big breath in and out. Let's drop that upper arm down and bring that leg back to meet its partner. Any movement you need, any adjustments you need. And we're going to take a walk to go to the other side. So either squeezing the block or squeezing your legs together, balancing your pelvis to start with. When you're ready, we're going to take a twist. So we're turning toward that backrest. Squeeze the legs, feel your feet to the floor. Work it. Keep working on your twist. See if you can trace the breath moving through your spine. You are finding a breath while you're twisting. The twists and turns of your body are noticing the breath and vice versa. So keep working it. Turning your head with mindfulness, because you don't want to exclude that movement. If you can move your head and get some stretch for your neck, by all means, but you do it mindfully. Stay with it a few more breaths, really deepening into the twist, balancing through your pelvis. You're not leaning one side or another. And then let's unwind. So we're back to our neutral position. We're going to find that extension of the leg now. Extend that outside leg out, creating a right angle. Square yourself away so you're squared in your gaze and your shoulders are aligned with the bent knee side, that inside leg. The inside arm reaches up and overhead, and then we do a side bend, either letting your outside arm glide down your leg, avoiding the knee, of course, or holding onto the chair, or however you found. And it could be different over here, alert. It could be different over here. Pulling back, getting that shoulder pulled back. How, I'm kind of feeling my way into that imaginary wall. So my head is a little bit better aligned with the spine. Deepen the breath. Exhale completely. Let that top arm bring you all the way up and around. Keep that leg there, because I know what you're thinking. She forgot. Yep, we're going to drop that foot down and come back up. So you're rotating in this hip socket. It's kind of fun to just keep your hand engaged to that leg that's in motion, and you can sort of feel the musculature that changes. I can feel that all the way up into the QL. This is those low back muscles kind of on the sides. All right, toes are up. Let's step that foot back and we'll just sort of walk ourselves back to center. We're hips distance apart now, so we've got ourselves situated where we're sort of in our very neutral position, hips distance apart. Let's do our straight arms, straight legs. I think that's a real energizing move. So inhale looks like that. Exhale, you're going to kick a leg straight forward. You can do this at your own pace. So faster sounds fun and you're up for that challenge. Go for it. Keeping yourself in right alignment. We're certainly aligned with the space here by using the chair as a framework. We're not going to go outside of that framework. Next time you've got your left leg out front, let's leave it stretched out with no bend in the knee and start rotating it out and back to center, out and back to center. Now let's bend that knee and straighten the leg again. So just alternate with straight legs moving around through that shoulder, that hip socket, hip joint, and bent knee doing it. I'm finding myself really wanting to pull back toward the backrest. See if you can fight that alongside me. We're trying to keep ourselves upright as best as we can. Not perfect. It's not perfect. Finish it up. Excellent. Let's get both feet to the floor. If there's any adjustments your body needs to make sure you shimmy around and get that adjustment. Let's go back to our straight arm, straight leg. We want to give this other side, when we go to side 2 here, we want to have it just as energized as the first side was. Right leg now, right? Let's keep that leg long and strong. Move it away from center. Hold it any way you need to or not at all, if you've got that. And then add the bent knee version of it too. Keep looking at your legs. Stay with your gaze right there at what's going on with your body. You don't need to look at the screen. There's no reason at all. Pay attention to your movement. Bend the knee. And when it feels like you've done about the same number of movements over here as you did on side 1, we'll get both feet to the floor. Let's move through. Before we stand up, I want to move through that tuck and tilt process. So when we tuck, let's start with that. Hands are on, we're doing the cat pose. Hands are here on your knees. You're tuck, 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 and using the perineum to pull in. We don't have the block here. And if you're thinking, well, I could use that, it's all like, just grab it any old time. Put it there so you can squeeze. And then we're going to find our vinyasa. Tuck, tilt. Tilt is the inhale. Exhale, tuck. Inhale. Exhale, tuck. Squeeze. Take your time with it so you can really work on that perineum activity, that Mula Bandha. One thing else I wanted to do before we get standing. So let's kind of come back to a neutral position. Let's try the eagle position. That's when we cross a leg. So cross right over left and squeeze it in. And then cross the other arm. So you've got left over right. for the arms, and then you try to weave your hands together. That's how the eagle arm is kind of differentiates itself. So if that's just not doable, or you just doesn't feel good for your wrists, you can always just clasp your hands and bring your forearms together. That's another alternative. Here's what I thought about doing. So bear with me here. This is often includes this lift to lift lift, and then we bow into ourselves by bringing those elbows into the belly button. That's a beautiful crunching action, nice to strengthen the abdominal wall. So before you get going on it, here's what I'm going to add to it. I'm going to show you a side view. You don't need to do anything different, but just so you can see the difference of what we're doing. We're going to come up and go way forward. So it's almost like we're trying to drop down to touch that bottom knee. So alternating up into the navel, up, way forward, and down. So just do a few of those. You alternate. That's my invitation. You can do it any way you want, but that's the invitation to this one. Pulling way forward, up, and tuck in towards your navel so you get the rhythm. Let's just do one more time where we're doing what we're doing, whatever we chose. And we'll come back to a neutral position, start to disentangle yourself. Any adjustment you need to make. Maybe make sure you're real caught up with your breathing. Let's cross now, left over right, right over left. Bend those elbows, either to bring palms together or your fingers somehow woven together, or remember, you could just do this, or however it works for you. And we're bending down to tuck into our navel, inhaling up, and then we go way forward to touch even that bottom knee. So that's the alternate movement. Smooth that out with your breath. Beautiful. Let's finish it up now. Unwind, unravel all of that. Get your feet back to the floor. Any movement your body needs. Let's get our hands to our waist. Get your feet real close so that you can bounce yourself or pull yourself right up and out of the chair. Let's do that just one more time. Up and out. And let's get the block between our lower legs into our mountain position. Squeeze into that block. Straighten your feet. Pull the belly muscles in. Arms are alongside the body. Need a little bend of your knee. Be sure to include that little micro bend of the knee. Just a breather here. Just touch base, full breath in and out in your mountain pose, feeling your way into your body, as a full body breath will do. Exhale completely. Let's flutter the eyes open. Inhale with me, palms will be together overhead. Exhale, we bow. Inhale up, and exhale, that big circular action with the arms. All right, I'm going to lose the block for now. I'm going to bring it just down on the floor. I don't think I need it on my chair. And I want you to stand next to your chair. So I'm just leaving the chair facing the same direction, but we're next to it. So outside leg, that's how I'm going to refer to it, because it's just going to simplify. So your inside leg is the one that's near the chair. Outside leg is going to hike up with a bent knee. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So either hold on to it or not, but we're going to go through our joint movements here. So standing up and doing our joint movements, move your foot around so you can do the movement through your ankle. You get to hold it or not hold. So you're going to challenge yourself in the way that you want to, but there's the chair for support. Let's move into the knee joint. So there's no more movement of the foot. Now it's that shin bone circling around. Find your breath now. Catch up with your breathing. We got to circle both directions. And then take that bent knee as we move into the hip. So you go wide away from the chair and then bring it right on top of the chair. Go wide on top. Now, here's what I want you to do different. So you go wide. When you bring your foot onto the chair, I want you to lay the pinky side of your foot down. So it's like you're resting onto your outside ankle. The sole of your foot is quite visible to you. So I want you to just see if you can move like that, where you open it up, you lay it on down, and then you go back to open it again. Let's meet with the foot on the chair. We've got it laid down so the outside ankle is resting on the chair. Got it? You can just stand and hold this. Just hold that like that. That's a great action for your hip. If you want to add a little more challenge, it's going to be to squat or bend the standing leg a bit. So you're squatting, a little bent. Now, if this hurts your knee, just skip it. You're not doing it. But if you can do it with no pain in your knee, and in fact, you feel that it's giving you a lot of strength in your quads, and it's a great, seems to add to the hip opening process, then this is your deal. That's all we need. Let's bring that back up in the air, circle that foot just for good measure, get your feet back to the floor, shake it all out. I'm going to move to the other side. Using the chair for support or not. Hike up that leg, it's a bent knee. We're going to start with the ankle joint. Hold yourself up. Think about mountain pose in terms of how you're standing here, holding yourself upright. And you don't have to hold the chair for support, but you sure can. Make sure you feel like you've really worked through your ankle. Lots of movement. And then move into your knee joint. So that's the shin is circling around. Find your breath now. Notice your breath. If that means you almost have to stop the movement of your leg, let's make breath a priority here. And then we're going to go into that hip opening. We go wide. We bring the foot to the chair. We go wide. Let's add now what we did where we laid our foot down. And then we bring it back up. So we lay it on the outside ankle, let the sole of the foot pop up. That's it. Breathe. Last time, we're going to do that little squatting action. So let your foot rest. You can stand right here. This is great. This is a good place to be. Or you can add the squatting action where you're bending into the standing leg. You can feel that squatting action and this, how that is strengthening your quads, that standing leg entirely. And it adds to this hip opening process. Find your breath. Excellent. Let's come back up. Get that foot up. Now spin that foot around. Both feet to the floor. Shake your legs. Glue your feet to the floor now. Have a nice, distance between your feet. Get a little more centered. And then shake like crazy. So you're shaking your legs. You want to bounce, bounce, bounce. You're shaking your arms. Like a cleansing, a clearing of just ridding yourself of anything that got stagnant in your body. You can let that go. And then flip-flop those arms. So you've got to move your legs. You've got to let your back foot pop up so your knees have all the ability to move through this as possible, just with ease, no strain in those knees whatsoever. The feet and the knees are connected, And we're going to get a little more lofty, where you swing over and reach up. Find your breath. Last time, one on each side. Let's come back to what feels like a mountain pose. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow. Inhale up. Exhale, go all the way down and around. Let's do 2 more of those back strokes, inhaling up. all the way down and around, up and down and around. We're going to finish with downward dog. So come to your chair seat with palms on the chair and start walking back so you can find that lowest version of this stretch that we do. This is the downward dog version. Feet are hips distance apart. I like to actually match up the distance you have created between your hands on the chair seat. Make that be the same distance that's between your feet on the floor. Straighten your legs as best you can and work on that. Just work on that. I speak with lots of experience here about that. It won't just happen. You've done 100 of these and you're thinking, surely I'm starting to, they're getting straight on their own. They really aren't. You've got to work on it. You've got to push your feet to the floor and be intentional that you're trying to stretch through those hamstrings and stretch through those calves so that you can straighten your legs a little bit more each time. You've put in so much work. Let's let our body have the full expression of this pose. Let's have as full of the expression as we are able to do, because we're adding intention. Come up when you're ready. You're ready to stand up. You're just going to walk yourself to your chair. Take your time with it so your body can adjust. It's going to need to, because you've been in inversion. So you're going to allow your body's blood pressure to shift and adjust. You're going to wait it out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's make our way to one more thing before we get into our final relaxation. So sit down, just take a sit down and press those palms together. Press those hands, push. And then find that separation. So again, you're aware of the space between your hands. It's felt. Beautiful. All right, let's move into Shavasana. So get your gear, get your movement, get yourself situated so you can relax into this quieting time. I am going to take my face off of the screen. So as you start to make your way into your Shavasana experience, moving to maybe a different location, getting a second chair, all those things, I'm just going to take, you don't need to be watching the screen is the whole point. So let's just take that out and you can find your way into this quieting. You want to use the backrest, of course. You want to use as much support as you can get. Maybe, just a reminder, maybe you found that box breath to be very useful as we began. You might decide to slip that into your process here. So you're more aware of your breathing than ever. Begin now that mantra of choice, breathing in and out, and you use the words in and out. Or if there's something else that's landed with you, but stay, aware of the fact that you need to be intentional about your relaxation, just like you're intentional about the asana, the movement, and the breath. So relaxing and using all the tools or techniques at your disposal to help quiet the mind. Quiet the mind. In and out. Relax your face, relax your tongue, and maybe you're going to do a body scan, softening through the neck, the shoulders, down the length of both arms. Whatever works well for you. Be very intentional now, quieting the mind, relaxing the body. Maybe you can listen for your breath. Feel how your body moves when you breathe. Let's use the word deep and slow for our mantra. Inhale deep, exhale slow. Watch your breath change quality. Deep and slow. We're going to use the loving kindness meditation today. Just to remind you, it's the basic format of blessings that is used for first yourself, for your circle of friends and family, the people you know and love. And then the final layer is that same process of blessing for all people everywhere. We don't know them, but we're offering them our blessing. That's what yoga is teaching us about union, about connecting. Find your smooth breath now. Maybe layer your palms over your heart space. Just a suggestion. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and at peace. May I be healthy and strong. May I live with ease. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and at peace. May you be healthy and strong. And may you live with ease. May all people everywhere be safe and protected. May they be happy and at peace, healthy and strong. May all people everywhere, every person, every being, live with ease. Rest into the support you have. Rest now. Notice that you are breathing in from the space around you and out again into it. That space that surrounds your body becomes part of your awareness. Breathing in from that space and out again into it. Know that you are so dearly loved. You are held and supported. Breathing in from that space around you and out again into it. Let your body rest and let your mind rest as well. Breathe in calm, breathe out ease, using our final mantra. Inhale calm, exhale ease. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out with a big sigh. Ah, cleansing breaths now. We start our transition. Big inhale and sigh it out with some sound attached. Ah. So make your way back to a comfortable seat. So maybe you've got to get your feet on the floor, start to make some adjustments so you're no longer leaning back, but you're back into a place of upright alignment. Take your time. Big breaths help you get there. All right, let's sync up our breath one last time. It's a sun salutation, just to remind you that's kind of what this gives us every time we do it. Inhale with me, palms will be together overhead. We look up. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale up. And when we exhale, we're going to share this beautiful, loving, and peaceful energy with our community. Hands will come back to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me.